Hi, everybody. I hope you are all doing quite well tonight. Lots of stuff we're going to talk about tonight, lots of stuff we're going to do. Just checking to see what it looks like on YouTube. Okay. Alrighty. How is everyone? If you could drop a hello in the chat so I know who's here. Hi, Aurora. Hi, Angie. Hi, Shannon. My producer, Shannon Nemechek. Love her to death. Love her to pieces. How is everyone? Tonight we're going to be going over the Board of Insanity. Trying to get the lighting adjusted just right. So tonight we're going over, I love you too, the Board of Insanity. I have a little video that I'm going to play, and we're going to talk at the same time. And I hope it works. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Yes, in my Emily D. Baker, I have questions coffee mug. Yes, I realize it's 7:00 at night, but I am currently on prednisone, so sleep. You can tell. Can you tell that I'm on prednisone? Went to the doctor today, and in just the last week, hi Swifty Nifty, I've gained like 7 pounds from the prednisone. So there's a funny story about the prednisone. But first, I'm going to play my introduction, and we'll be right back, okay? But get your pens and your paper and your post-it notes and everything ready, okay? Be right back. Hello, I'm USA Today bestselling author, storyteller, and cheeky wench, Susan Tisdale. I've been writing since I was a little girl and published my first novel in December of 2011. Since then, I've sold more than 750,000 copies of my books around the world, and I've hit the USA Today bestsellers list twice. I'm here to share tips, tricks, and advice on writing, cover art, and indie publishing in general. So grab your favorite beverage, pen and paper, and gird your loins, babies. This could get a little bumpy. Ta-da! We're trying to make this as professional as humanly possible. So, but with me at the helm, you just don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, it keeps me up all night, Shannon. Like till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I sleep till 10. So who knows? But hello, hello, hello. Yes, I still have a cough. Lungs are clear. Went to the doctor today. If you all could go ahead and hit the like and subscription button and share, do all, like Emily Baker says, all the YouTubey things. I don't know what else to call it, but just do all the social media stuff. It's greatly appreciated. Sharing especially really helps us with our algorithms and helps us get seen. It just really helps, and just know that I'm very appreciative. So I got some funny ha-has to tell ya. I went to the doctor today as a follow-up. I am feeling much, much better. Had to have my annual blood work done. Cholesterol's high. I can't take the statins. I'm allergic to them. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, have to see a nutritionist. But while I was there, I just happened to mention to my doctor, Laura, that whilst taking the prednisone, I felt happy. Like really happy. Not like euphoric, like manic high or anything like that. Just happy. And I could focus. Something I hadn't felt in a long time, right? So she starts asking me all these questions like, do you tend to procrastinate? Me? Put off something that takes 5 minutes to do, put it off for 6 months? Never. Do you take naps? Every day, except when I'm on the prednisone. Sometimes they take a 2 or 3 hour nap. Are you easily distracted? Possibly. So me, thinking I'm just quirky all these years, she keeps asking me questions and I keep saying yes or no or whatever. She said, please don't be insulted, but I'd really like you to see a psychiatrist to get tested for adult ADHD. So I'm being a smartass. I'm like, no, I'm just weird. I'm just quirky. I don't have ADHD. So She steps out of the room. I text my daughter. I'm like, guess who wants me to get tested for ADHD? Blah, 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 blah. She's like, Mom, I could have told you that. I've been telling you this for years. I'm like, what? They haven't. Get home. Kevin said, oh, thank God. He said, I was really starting to think that there's something wrong with you, but I didn't want to say anything. So then I called Shannon, tell her all the funny ha-has. Well, first I called Bobby Gordon, tell her all the funny ha-has. And Bobby's like, well, I'm not going to diagnose you because I'm not a psychologist, blah, blah, blah. She said, but you need to have Shannon get you a little video of a squirrel running across the screen every time you're doing a live from when you're distracted. So I thought that was hilarious. So I called Shannon and I told her what was going on. Now, Shannon has a degree in psychology. She said, oh, honey, I could have told you that a long time ago. I'm like, what? In my mind, ADHD means you can't sit still. You can't focus more than 2 minutes at a time. But I guess from what I'm learning is that is the typical diagnosis in little boys, right? If they can't sit still, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't have a problem sitting still and I can focus. Sometimes for, hours at a time. You put my iPad and Merge Mansion in front of me, I'm a goner. I know, I love you too, Shannon. So anyway, it was just hilarious. So now I have to see a psychiatrist and go get tested for adult ADHD, which my whole family is saying, Mom, we've been telling you this for years. Honey, I knew something was wrong, but you wouldn't listen to me. You guys never said anything. Yes, we did. You just didn't pay attention. You just ignored us. You didn't listen. Go figure. I just thought I was quirky. But anyway, tonight we are here to talk about plotting, about the Board of Insanity. I don't have a gavel, so I'm just going to use my little electric pencil sharpener. I'd like to call the Board of Insanity to order, please. I'm high on the scale. I need to be high on something. So anyway, the Board of Insanity. And I don't know if you have your Post-it notes ready, your pens, your boards. Where is, I don't see her. Where is Christina? Christina sent me a picture of how she does it. And she actually found a spiral bound, like almost like a sketch pad that she lays on the side, and she just set it up on her desk. I thought that was pretty cool. Squirrel. But hi, Christina, honey. Do you have a link, Christina, for that notebook, that the pictures you sent me of where you got that notebook at? If you could put them in the chat, I'd appreciate it, because I think that might be helpful for a lot of people. So we are going to get on it. And I did a little video today. I recorded. And we're going to play and stop and play and stop and play and stop. Okay, so this is how you're getting an insight into how I plot out here at my island. So this is my Board of Insanity. I always write the title at the top. Board of Insanity. The date. I like to put the date so that I can look back later to see when I started and when I finished or whatever. Okay. So you're getting an insight into my semi-organized chaos. Did you happen to notice all my colored pencils and my Post-it notes and everything? That's how I do it. It's just how I do it. Okay. So you can see I kind of drew a pencil line down the center. Boy, I'm moving that camera fast, and I'm really sorry. So down the center of my poster board, on one side I do all my characters, and on the other side I do the plotting. And this is just a visual representation that helps me. I put it up over my desk, and I can see at a glance what my plot points are, character names, that type of thing. So I don't have to go back and forth inside Scrivener, which I do use. It's the only thing I use to write with. Yeah. So let's push play.
On this side, it's all about my characters, right? Don't come at me. I do use pink for my heroine. I use blue for my hero. It's just how my mind thinks. I'm old. I then use this pretty lavender for secondary female characters, such as the heroine's mother, grandmother, aunts, sisters, cousins, that type of thing. And then I do the same thing over here for my hero. Okay. I use this darker for my.
So I'm being told that there's no video, but you can see no video. Well, poopy pies. You can hear it, but you cannot see it. Well, let's try something else. Hang on.
Heroine's enemy, bully, nemesis, whatever. Then her best friend. And I do the same thing over here. Who is the hero's nemesis? Who's his best friend? Then I use the littler post-it notes for the secondary characters. And this could be anybody. You use these little tiny ones for any secondary character, right? Could be a family member. If you want, just to keep it all straight, you can get in another color.
Okay, not sure if that worked or not, but I do have the board here, just in case that didn't work. I did one today. Not how I planned to do this tonight. But as you can see, on one side, I draw a line down the middle, and on one side, it's all about my characters. And then on the other side, it's all the plot points. Okay? I color coordinate things or color code, because it's just easier for me visually to do this, all right? So like I told you before, I use the pink for my hero, blue for my hero, pink for my heroine, blue for my hero. And I do, at a quick glance, just put down what their goals are, what their secrets might be, their fears, family background. And then these little Post-its, the lavender ones especially, I like to use for the family. Like I will use it for her mother, her sisters, her aunts, her grandmother, whatever. And then at the bottom, I use dark purple for who's her nemesis, if she has one, who's her bully, and then who is her best friend, right? And I do the same thing over here for the hero, his family, what his secrets are, all of that good stuff. Okay. And then for the secondary characters, again, I use the smaller Post-it notes. And those smaller Post-it notes can be for pretty much anybody. It could be for their family members or the secondary characters. So for instance, let's say you're doing a murder mystery and your hero is a police officer. What I would do is the tiny Post-it notes, I would use to put the team, like the detective team member information on. Can you all hear me now? Is this all working? I hope so. So anyway, let me know if it's working. If it's not working, tell me. But anyway, I just use these little Post-it notes for those secondary characters. I would use it for the detective team, the squad, whatever. And then I would get another color. Okay, if you're doing like a murder mystery, I would do another color completely for the victims, if there are any victims. And my Post-it notes are falling off. So my poster board apparently has ADHD like I do. So anyway, let's scooch on over here to the plots. Okay. So you can look at your book as having a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. It doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as you do it, right? So I like to write down the key plot points. I like to have 3. I don't like to do more than that. I think if you get more than 4 or 5 intense, important plot points, that it could weigh the book down too much. Okay? So I like to have my key plot points. And for purposes of this demonstration, what I did today was we had an explosion at a factory due to unsafe working conditions, right? Had a kidnapping. A group of people have kidnapped the CEO of that company. So then we have ransom demands. How did the ransom demands come in, et cetera, et cetera? We have a rescue mission going on for the survivors of that explosion and rescue mission for the kidnapping victim, right? So you could start it out with the explosion, or you could start it out with the kidnapping. And these two things might not even be related, but they're important to your book, right? So let's say you don't want to start out with the kidnapping. Let's say you want to just start out with the explosion. Okay? That's what is nice about the Post-it notes is you can move things around. Okay? At the bottom, I always do my setting, like my location and stuff. What era are we in? Is this is this a modern book? Is this contemporary? Is this something from the turn of the century? I think something like this would be exciting in Victorian times or the early 1900s. You could do that. You could set it at a Western, anything. But you need to know what era you're in, what country you're in, if you're writing, fiction, if you're not writing fantasy or whatever, and what genre is it. Okay? So just all of that important information, like if you have set your book, let's say in Chicago during the 1920s, during the Roaring 20s, you want to put that in there, Chicago Roaring 20s. And if you have maps of what Chicago looked like in the Roaring 20s, you wouldn't necessarily put it on here, but you would put it in your Scrivener project. But I just love that I can move things around, right? So beginning, middle, and end. Where are we starting? And you can start however you want to. It could be a nice, peaceful spring day, and you've got somebody in a garden picking flowers, and then all of a sudden, here comes a spaceship out of nowhere. You want to shake it up. Always keep in mind, even when you're plotting and when you're writing, how do you shake things up a little bit? Because shaking things up can be a lot of fun, okay? Where do you want to shake it up? Do you want to shake it up I recommend doing it a couple times, but just visual representations. So you're going to see here where it says subplot or secondary story. I think it's always kind of fun, personally, to have a little side story going in your main story, right? It could be a love interest between two secondary characters. Could be like if you know you're going to write a series novel, you could have some little side romances going with the hero's brothers or the heroine's sisters or whatever. And what's nice is when you go to write the next book, if you're going to be using these secondary characters for the next book, you could just take this off, right? And put it on the new poster board. Is this making sense? Do y'all have any questions? Now, when I use my colored pencils, which you couldn't see, they're out. I have 10,000 Sharpies of varying shades and colors. And a lot of times I will take a Sharpie. I like the fine point. I'm just going to use this for right now. And I can actually write notes on my board. But do you see this here? I put this almost on every single board of insanity. And you see it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So that just reminds me visually that I need to have, my story needs to have ups and downs, ebb and flow. Okay, exciting moments, a little bit of quiet time, because you got to give everybody time to breathe, time to settle down between those really intense action scenes. That's fine. But the last thing I want, you see that straight line? Last thing you want in any book is a flat line, right? You don't want your book to be so boring that it just flatlines. So I'm a very visual person, right? I like to be reminded of what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, you can just move the notes to a new board. Exactly. And you can save these boards for future reference. I wish I knew how to laminate them. I'm sure my husband can figure that out. But I just love that I can just move everything around. If I've got like this key plot point, maybe it doesn't belong as number 1. It belongs as number 3, which is fine. I can just switch it around. Okay? Where to begin? Where do we go? And where do we end up? Those are the 3 things you need to ask in all of your books. Where are we beginning? Where are we going? And where are we going to end up? I open the floor for questions. It's just, again, visual representations. Now, another thing I like to do for visual representation, and I left my Post-it notes in the other room. Clear contact paper is a great large sheet laminate. Angie, you were a freaking genius. I should do that so that when I'm done, I can save it and I don't have Post-it notes flying all over the place. No, that is not what I want. Not the one I want. Bobby, I got to get a refill I got to get an ink refill. Bobby sent me this pen for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. And it just says on here, the pen is mightier than the sword. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm sorry. But anyway, I'll just do this. Something else that I do. Oh, former daycare teacher. There you go. This is something else that I like to do. And we have talked about this in the past. But, oh, thanks, Bobby. I will try to remember to do that. So something else that I like to do when I'm writing a book. Can you see this? Nope. Okay, see the word see? Okay. On a index card, I write all the senses. And we have talked about this before. See, hear, taste, smell, feel as in texturally, and feel as emotionally. I like to use brightly colored pens or markers or whatever and attach them. I have a blackboard instead of a whiteboard is black over my desk. And I don't want to try and move cameras or anything, but I have these little notes to myself, and they are just visual reminders of those important things that need to go into the actual story. This is on a side note, besides the plot, besides the characters, what is the character afraid of? What are their goals? Where are we going with this book, et cetera, et cetera. I have this visual reminder to show our readers, my readers, what our characters are seeing, what they're hearing, what they're smelling, what they're tasting, what they're feeling texturally, what they're feeling emotionally, what the weather is, time of year, time of day, that type of thing. So a quick glance just always helps me stay on track and reminds me what I have to do. If you see me disappear, it's just because I need to blow my nose or cough, because I still have this lingering cough. Please go ahead and type in any questions you might have, and I will be right back. But yes, honest to God, I'm feeling 1,000 times better, and I'm a huge fan of the prednisone. I don't like the weight gain, but I really do like how it makes me feel. But anyway, I digress. I do that a lot, don't I? Shannon, we need to put up a poll. Who thinks Susan has adult ADHD? Show of hands. So what questions do you all have right now, if any, about the Board of Insanity? Now, next week, next Wednesday night, is going to be all about Scrivener. And I'm going to be doing a live tutorial where I'm sharing the screen with y'all. There won't be an extra video or anything, but I'll be sharing the screen with you, showing how I use Scrivener. I'm going to pop over to YouTube because I can't tell if everything froze or not. I feel like I have a floppy plot. What is a good way to weed out subplots that don't need to be in the story? Oh, it's okay, Shannon. That's all right about the poll. Okay. So a floppy plot. What makes you think it's floppy? And subplots can be fun. I like maybe not necessarily an actual subplot, but maybe a secondary story that kind of goes along with what's going on. Now, that subplot or that secondary story has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, just like the main book does. It has to go somewhere. Even if it leads to its very own book someday, right? You're laying with those secondary stories, those subplots, whatever. You are laying the groundwork for future books. Does that make sense? How do you weed them out? Have somebody read it. A good editor will tell you if that subplot is necessary or not. That a really good editor is going to tell you whether or not it needs it. But I think I like stories with subplots, or with not necessarily subplots, but little secondary side stories. Okay, I just like doing that because I think sometimes if we just focus on just this one story, we have tunnel vision, right? Tunnel vision, but our world is bigger than that. We all have things, more than one thing going on in our life at any one given time, right? Okay, let's say you're writing a contemporary romance novel and your heroine is falling in love with a new guy, right? But in the background, maybe she has just lost her job, or just started a new job that's very stressful, or maybe she just found out her mom had breast cancer, or her sister has just asked her to be a surrogate for her because she can't get pregnant. Anything like that, it adds depth to your story. And I think it just makes it far more interesting. Does that help, NGG? I hope so. Oh, good, Aurora. Christine says, what I also add is a picture photograph of the character. Haven't gotten that done yet for this one. I tape it to the top of the character description. You can do that. I know a lot of people that do that. Trying to find my cough drops. Yes, I'm being distracted. Anyway, I know a lot of authors who do that. They like that visual representation of what their character looks like. It kind of motivates them. I like to have the cover first. And all I really need for motivation usually is a really kick-ass cover. And I've got covers for books that I haven't even started to write yet. So, but that's just my process. There is no right way. There is no wrong way. The only wrong thing you can do is not to write the book you want to write. Angie says, I can't center in between coming home and the action to move the story. I feel like they conflict with each other. So don't worry about worlds colliding because real life is a juggling act. Yes, it is. Real life is a juggling act. We juggle stuff all the time, all of us. Angie, what I would recommend that you do, shut off the world around you and you read your story out loud. To yourself, read it out loud so you can hear your voice. Don't let the computer do it. Don't ask somebody else to do it. But you read it out loud to see if it interests you, if you find it exciting, if you giggle, if you're like, wow, I can't believe I just wrote that sentence, that type of thing. That will help. I read stuff out loud to myself all the time. I don't let the computer do it because it's too monotone a voice, right? And I need to hear things sometimes. I'm a visual learner, but I like to hear things. I'm just all over the place, aren't I? Good. I'm glad that helps. Yes, you can. You can do this, Angie G. I'll be glad when this cough is over. What other questions do we have? What else is you wanting to know about the Board of Insanity? Do you think this is going to help you with your plotting? Because we've done a lot of talking about plotting over the last several weeks. How to plot, why it helps, how it can improve your story. Not everybody plots with a Board of Insanity, and that's okay. Some people keep all their plotting in Word docs or Scrivener, or whatever it is that they use to plot with, or in notebooks or legal pads or whatever. And that's okay. Again, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's whatever helps motivate you, helps keeps you excited, helps keep you in your story, and helps to keep you writing. That is what is important. Does that make sense? I hope so. I don't know how to do a poll either, Shannon. Create a poll. Ask a question. Okay. Okay, I just posted a poll. I like the idea mentioned with the image of the characters. Visually helps me to see who the character is and their personalities and more. Yes, Aurora says, and she's added images to her characters' bios. Yes, I know lots and lots and lots of authors who do that. I've actually done that a couple of times. I don't know where it is right now, but I have this really great picture of a man with a beard, dark hair, dark beard. He's really gorgeous eyes, and he's just handsome. I've used it for some of my Instagram ads, and I used him a lot for inspiration for Black Richard's Heart. So, yeah, whatever you need to do to help stay focused and to help, should I even be saying focused, to help you stay excited about your story, okay, to keep you moving. That's the whole idea of why we do these Wednesday nights with the Wench, is to help you write better, to help you stay interested in your own story. If you are not interested in your own story, in the story that you're writing currently, if it's not like you're not sitting here every day going, hey, this is so much fun, this is so exciting, then your readers aren't going to enjoy it either, right? If you're not liking it, your readers aren't liking it. Michaela Jade, love her to death. She was brutally honest with the book that I wrote, and she was spot on correct. It was not my best writing, but it was a book that I finished after coming off a couple of years of some really bad personal stuff going on, which we're not going to talk about. Nothing with my husband or my kids or anything like that. Just some drama. Anyway, it showed. It showed that I was not excited in that book. Yep. So if you're not excited, your readers aren't going to be excited. To me, it brings them more alive and pop in the story. Yep. Those visual, whatever you need to do, just do it. Right? The whole goal is to be better writers, to write really fabulous stories that your readers are just going to love, and they're going to keep turning the pages. That's what we want. We want page turners. Okay? Like I've discussed in the past, never end a chapter with someone going to sleep. You have to keep the action realistic though, right? It can't be all action. There has to be downtime. There has to be moments where they take breathers. Hi, Holly and Mistletoe. I used to have a large whiteboard set up the same way until the plaster ceiling in my library fell and broke it. Oh my, I would have cried. I would have cried. I want a whiteboard, but where in hell am I going to put it in here? I mean, today I was thinking, I wish Kevin would have just built tables all the way around my entire office, except for where the bookcase is and the fireplace and stuff. Because, yeah. Anyway, I would love to have maybe a whiteboard that rolls down from the ceiling. That would be cool. But yeah, that would have made me cry, Holly. And I would have just wept. But that's why I use the poster board. It's something I can thumbtack, hanging on the back of your door. If they're double doors, Bobby, they're double doors. So it's the size of a regular door, but they're double doors. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I've got to be able to see it. I don't want to have to be spinning around looking. So over my desk, over my monitor is usually the best place for me. But I love Christina's idea about that sketch pad that she uses. And it's, what a sketch pad looks like, right? Like a sketch pad. But she puts hers this way. And just imagine that this is a sketch pad, right? So, a big, tall sketch pad. And I thought that was a pretty nifty idea. I really did. I thought that was a very good idea. Because that is something, the more I thought about it, it's like, you know what? That is something that she could fold up and take with her if she wanted to go to the park to write, or if she was on vacation and wanted to write, or, whatever. It's something that she could, it's not so huge that it makes it too cumbersome to use. That's why I was so excited about her idea. But I had to make a promise to my family not to buy any more notebooks or pads or anything like that. Oh, you should see the piles and piles and piles of notebooks that I have. Don't forget all my fun stickers too. Exactly. She puts her fun stickers in that sketch pad. And I just thought that was a fabulous idea, Christina. I really did. Christina, do I have your permission, if I can, to post those on my YouTube channel, like under a discussion or whatever, to show people what we're talking about? Would that be okay? Just let me know. But yeah, it's got to be easy to use. It's got to be something that you're just not going to forget about. I'm one of those out of sight, out of mind kind of people. Just a second. Sorry. Cough drop didn't work. Ooh, cough drops and sweet tea. Oh, that's just nasty. Anyway, loved Christina's idea. Bobby texted me earlier And she's got, again, I was distracted. God forgive me. Where's Bobby? Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, Bobby. So here's what you can do. You open up a new note. This is for an iPhone. You open up a new note, and from the note app, and then touch the microphone on it. So you can do into your notes on your smartphone. You can dictate your notes. And you'll put in the punctuation and everything. It's kind of like voice to text. I use that a lot for text messages because I have Dixon thumb. Can you see that? That we call it the Dixon thumb. So I have fat thumbs, and texting on this itty bitty little tiny, smartphone thing. I do a lot of typos. So anyway, I love the voice to text, and she just was telling me that you can do that in your notes section on your smartphone too. WB blah LOL. Okay. Yeah, I love stickers. I love stickers. I love stickers. But I love my Post-it notes. Anything that's inspirational, anything that will help me stay on track. Because, Susan might have adult ADHD. They're supposed to call me tomorrow, schedule an appointment. What's the poll? 50% say maybe. Okay. Yes, 33%, 17% say no, 50% say maybe. That's too funny. I love you all. Now I'm just second guessing myself all afternoon. It's like, does this mean anything? Does that mean anything? Aurora says I'm easily distracted, so don't worry. It's me who I am. Oh, well. Hold the blood. That was for the tea and cough drop. Yeah. That was just nasty. So, are you learning anything with these Wednesday nights? Are these helping? Because it's important to me that I'm doing a good job for all of you, that I'm actually helping you all, that you're learning stuff, and that you're excited about writing. And then I think what I will do, Shannon, I'm going to, that video that I recorded today that it wouldn't let me play, I think I could just put that up on YouTube, right? And I will just upload it and add it to this playlist. Just filled a bunch of sticky notes that will go on the board. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad, Aurora. Huge fan of the stickies. Here's something funny. I went to get a white poster board, discovered I'm out. Go figure. And I found something. I have no idea where this came from. But it's from 2016. And it was a book that I wanted to write. Oh, good. I'm glad, Holly. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be a good book. But seriously, it's from 2018. Or 2016. Yeah, maybe 2016. So anyway, I found all these sticky notes. Yeah. When I was first trying the Board of Insanity. So this goes way back. Anyway, I thought y'all would get a kick out of it. So what else do you want to know? Good. Yeah, I know. I've got notebooks that go back to 2012 with book ideas in them. Books that I might never write, books that I have written, and books that I might write. So I'm not going to show you, but my sofa's over here, and on the floor at the end of my sofa are 2 tall stacks of spiral bound notebooks. And these are not all of them. These are spiral bounds I have to go through. And each stack is tall to the point if you just touch it right, they fall over. So I've had to pick them up a few times. But anyway, again, I digress. What else? What else do you want to know? What other questions might you have this evening? And we will be doing a Friday Night Live this Friday night. Did anybody? I know this is usually I save these conversations for Friday. Did you guys? Is anybody following the Waukesha Christmas Parade trial? They had to call it this today because there was a tornado warning, and then they ended early. Then, did you hear about what happened down in Excelsior Springs, Missouri? That girl she had been being held captive, a prisoner, by this creepy since September, and she'd been abused in all sorts of different ways, but he left to take his kid to school, and she was able to escape. So there's so much going on. And then there's that sweet little Quentin Simon, 20 months old from Alabama, who has gone missing, and I'll keep my opinions on that. Angie said, who has the best mass email accounts to send to readers? I can only send a set limit with my Yahoo. Well, I don't use Yahoo. I use Flowdesk, Angie. Let me see if I can put that in the chat. Okay, that's what I use for my newsletters. Is that what you mean by mass email? Is a newsletter to keep your readers up to date? I have like over 10,000 subscribers. Used to use MailerLite, but it has gotten so expensive. So I moved over to Flowdesk. It's very easy to use. I actually have somebody who does my newsletters for me now, which takes some stuff off my shoulders and off my brain. So Flowdesk. I think it's very economical. You can start with MailerLite. You can do MailChimp. There's all sorts of different things out there, but some of them get really, really expensive, especially the more subscribers that you add to your list. But I use Flowdesk, and I like it. Did you know about the people kept in cages in the garage in southern Missouri? No, I hadn't heard that, Christina. Email me that. It's likely related incident. Really? Huh. I did not know. So does everybody have fun on Wednesday nights? Is this something you look forward to? Because if you think I don't need to be here, then I won't be here. But I just want to make sure that I'm helping. Tell your friends. Tell your author friends. You mentioned, oh shoot. Okay. You mentioned a developmental editor. Are they hard to find and cost a lot to hire? Who do you suggest would be good to ask? Okay, Aurora. I use Catherine Lynn Davis. She's a New York Times best-selling author. She's absolutely fabulous, and I can't write with anybody else but her. There are other developmental editors out there, and there is a distinct difference between a developmental editor and a line editor. A developmental editor, I think, personally, in my own humble opinion, that the developmental editor is probably the single most important investment you can make in your writing. But they have to be good at what they do. I can put a sticker on my shirt that says, hey, I'm a developmental editor. It doesn't mean jack shit, right? It doesn't mean anything. What I always recommend is that you send like a chapter or two to someone that you're thinking about using as an editor. A lot of people will do it for free. They'll take the first chapter or two and they will edit it for you as a sample to show you how they work. When you get that back, there's key things that you need to pay attention to, okay? If all you're getting back is, here's a typo, there's a typo, I love it, it's awesome. That's not a developmental editor. Okay, that is someone who wants to think they're a developmental editor. A good developmental editor is going to say things like, this has a really strong start, or your start is a little weak. Maybe you want to start here instead. I love the premise of this book. Here's ways I think you could improve it. They're not just looking for typos, right? They're looking for, does the plot flow? Are these characters likable? Are they despicable enough? They're looking at all sorts of different things. Your prose. They need to look at your prose. Um, you cannot, okay, some people write the way they speak. And for someone who does have good grammar, that type of thing, that works. Okay. But if you're, I'm trying to be nice about this, you can't always write like you speak. Writing like you speak needs to be saved for your conversations within your book, your whatever's in the quotation marks. Okay. Um, your editor, a good editor, is going to look at the narration of the story. They're going to look at the whole thing. Okay. And they should come back with lots of really good advice. They should not be cruel. They should not be mean. They should not be vicious. If they are any of those things, you move on and you keep going until you find an editor that you feel like you can learn from and will enjoy working with. That's a developmental editor. Catherine Lynn has been known to add typos to my books, which I'm perfectly fine with. I don't care. She is helping me make these books better and stronger and more solid. Okay? My final proofer is the person. Her name is Emily. It's my daughter. Perfect Pages Final Proofing. You can find her over on Facebook. She is the one that goes in and looks for the typos and the correct comma placement and semicolons and em dashes. And we call her the grammar goddess. Okay? Because she knows what she's doing. Okay? She will tidy that book up. And that's what your final proofer does. Okay? So a great editor is someone who will help you improve your writing skills, someone you can learn from. If you're just getting back a bunch of notes that say, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, what's that mean? I've actually seen people who call themselves editors do that. And it just annoyed the hell out of me. What do you mean this doesn't work? How doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work? How can I improve it? What's wrong with it? They didn't give any other information. They just redlined it and said, this doesn't work. Well, how are you supposed to learn from that? How are you supposed to learn from this doesn't work or this sucks? That's not helping you. Okay? So you could reach out to Catherine Lynn Davis on Facebook. I don't know if she has any openings right now. I know she's getting ready to do another eye surgery. So, excuse me. You could also ask writers in your genre who you love to read their books. Okay? Reach out to your fellow authors in your genre, ask them who they use, and then go from there. Oh, I'm glad, Angie. Thank you. Thank you. If I edit, I miss a lot. I see the story in my head. That's why I hate editing my stuff. So when I edit, I don't see what's missing as the story's in my head. That's why I need another set of eyes. Exactly. Because in my mind, I've just written this perfectly beautiful book. It's fabulous. Yeah, Perfect Pages Final Proofing. I'm going to put her email in here. Her email is... And I'm serious. She is really good. Apparently, just as she's tried to tell me for years that I have adult ADHD, she's also tried, and so has Catherine Lynn Davis, to explain to me what the hell a dangling participle is. They've tried multiple times. I still can't wrap my head around it. I really don't care. But Emily will find all your dangling participles and undangle them if you have them. That's why I love her. She really is freaking awesome at what she does. Okay? She's not that expensive either. So I like that. So anyway, yeah, final proofer. And oh, that's cool, Holly. You've been proofreading since 76. Awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, a great editor is someone you will learn from, someone that you will have a really great relationship with, someone who is not cruel. Okay. You don't want an editor who's just, and I've seen it. I've seen people have come to me just crying, saying, I got this note back from my editor today, and am I reading this wrong? No, you weren't reading it wrong. her comments, her email to you, they were absolute cruelty. You need a new editor. Okay? Lots of dangles. Dangling participles. When I finish this book, I will hunt them down. Okay, cool. Awesome. So yeah, I love my editor, and I've tried, and it went okay. This other editor I had to use while Catherine was healing from a surgery, she was fabulous. She really was. And there were things that she did that Catherine didn't do, which was okay. But I've worked with Catherine for so long that it's hard for me to work with somebody else, even though someone else does a fabulous job. So, but you've got to love your editor. Your editor cannot just blow sunshine up your skirt and say, oh, this story is fabulous, and then just find 10 typos. No. But I think I've rambled on enough. I think you understand my position on good editors and good final proofers. Aurora says I have stories in binders because I never had anyone to look at them, as I won't do it. Well, that's okay. I got lots of stories in binders or in Spiral Bound notebooks. Putting stories in my Rocket book. I've got stories everywhere. So, are there any other questions? If not, I'm going to go grab some dinner. It's 8 o'clock almost. And then just remember, next week, we're going to be doing a live demo on Scrivener. So next week, have your Scrivener ready. And I'll be showing you I'm not going to show you how everything about Scrivener. It ain't happening. Because I know it does a lot of different things, but I only use it for certain things. So I'm just going to show you how I use it. That's all I could do is show you how I use it and why I love it. So if you does anybody have any more questions? Okay, well, if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. But first, I just want to thank you all for being here. I really, truly do appreciate it. You guys are just awesome. You all are just awesome. And I love being here on Wednesday nights with you guys. I love sharing whatever wisdom I might have. And I guess my goal is like in with this is just to help all of you become better writers, to focus, to put out the stories that you want to write, put out the stories that you love, to help you get better so that your readers will keep turning those pages, because that's really what you want to write. You want to write page turners, right? That's what we should. I got to come up with something with page turners. Anyway, that's what we want to do. We want to keep the readers turning their pages, keep your readers happy. But that's another subject for another time, because you can't always keep them all happy, as we all know. This has helped immensely, and I love meeting up on Wednesday and Friday. I look forward to it each week. Oh, yay, Aurora. I'm so glad. Shannon, did you wash your hands, dear? Oh, sorry. Anyway, I just love you all. I think you're just absolutely freaking phenomenal. And I truly, truly do enjoy being here on Wednesday nights and Friday nights. Friday, I might do a live stream during the day about some of the court cases that I've been following, because you know me, I'm a true crime junkie. Oh, Shannon, you're disgusting. Thank you. Hope you continue to heal up. I feel fabulous. I really do. I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just this cough is lingering, so I've got to see a pulmonologist to see if I've got asthma. So why not? Everything else, menopause, adult ADHD possibilities, asthma, high cholesterol. Why not? Just throw it all at me, baby. I can handle it. Anyway, I love you all. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and I will see you Friday night. And just keep slaying the words, people. Just keep writing those books. Don't give up. Okay? I love you, and I will see you all Friday night. Bye.